It is literally the least intuitive thing I've ever done.
Person obviously wasn't book smart. Oh, stop.
Need to make that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Coughing fit. We should beat it.
Now you're gonna go back and fight the other ones?
Not at the moment.
Wait, why is magic lock on a skill? What does that even mean?
Can't work this out. Let's see if I can do it.
Do you just not have the ability to lock on with magic
Yeah,
normally?
I'm not sure.
That's dumb. So wait, are Hercules and Auron just fighting the entire time you're doing this?
Yeah.
God damn.
Hey, look! I want everyone to notice. Instead of using the dodge roll, reaction command, I just dodge rolled away from the explosion.
Your point?
I think that's amusing.
Yeah, this is it.
Or you could just kill them before they even explode.
Did you hear that Stan Lee died?
I did.
Though they filmed so many Marvel movies, apparently the next 7 all have a Stan Lee cameo.
They were filmed that far in advance.
So he'll pop up in the next 7 Marvel movies.
That's like, how far in advance do you have to be? Is that supposed... First, Sora, what did you... okay, first of all, you chuckle fucks, what did you think was going to happen?
Also, this brings up a big question.
Must be another way.
Yes.
Your deaths will mean nothing. You must live.
This dialogue is from his game,
Yes.
which means his experience up to this point
This is what belongs in Orin's heart.
are canon.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pretty
right.
rough life.
This means one of two things.
But in
Either,
the end,
at some
it's really
point,
what made him stronger.
his game happened,
The events of 10 is why he's down here.
but here's my problem with that, Carson. Where is Titus right now?
Dead.
What?
I was just making a joke.
Titus is on the island! You understand our problem here?
I
Do
don't
Final
remember.
Fantasy games happen? And where do they happen? How do they happen?
I don't remember how the ending.
Now, what we could say is that Destiny Islands is essentially Xanarkin, and that Titus is just not aged up to the point, because there's like a 10-year gap. So I guess, Titus looks about like, he might get to the point where he's,
I don't
almost at the game
remember
happened.
how the ending of 10 goes, so I don't know how much, this game contradicts that, or...
Titus is a kid!
Sean beat me to it.
Well, that leads to what I was going to say, and I can't tell if this makes it better or worse, and you should obviously know where I'm going with this. Because of Dream Drop Distance, it's my headcanon that much like how there are 3 Mickeys, we have multiple versions of the Final Fantasy characters.
What do you realize the gravity of what you were implying right now?
Yes? Yes, I do.
Not what I had in mind, but I'll take
We
it.
have to come back to that. We are going to wait for George, and when he gets here, we will come back to that. Because I don't think you know what you're saying. But we'll wait. Because I feel like this one, that conversation topic in particular requires Brian. Also, I have to take a detour.
Carson is opening a multi-dimensional can of worms.
You are opening.
No, multiversal.
You are opening.
Omniversal.
Did I already get that one?
Yes, I believe you did.
When? No,
When
it's
we
right
first
there.
came
No,
here.
it's right there. No, I couldn't reach it.
I thought you.
No,
No, oh no, you tried.
no, he got.
tried.
You tried using Valor Form to reach it, but it didn't work.
Because you only get power for level 84 now. I don't know what I just destroyed.
The rock. I believe the rocks actually do have health bars here. That's like and that leads to something I have always wondered, like on fan Wikipedias and stuff, who's like, I want to know who's the motherfucker that basically is designated, okay, all the random shit that because it's in the game we need it to, you know, acknowledge it, but it's like so inconsequential, you're the one that has to write that.
Hey, I want to know who took the time to change the Erwin Smith fan wiki to Commander Eyebrow and put his occupation as on its way to steal your girl.
That's
Those were the golden days of the SNK fandom.
Attack on Titan SNK fandom
When
because
you say SNK, I just think of the Metal Slug SNK.
exactly. Stop doing that.
Somebody sits there and thinks, is Sean grinding for
Yes.
for levels?
No.
No. Man. No, Sean is grinding for materials. We need us with the materials.
And getting the stamps. Well, stickers.
Same thing.
No. Sora is a huge fan of Michael Jackson, clearly.
What?
I said Sora is a Michael Jackson fan. He always says, "This is it." There was the Michael Jackson movie. This is it.
Yes. Remember at the end of Moonwalker where Michael Jackson becomes a robot to save those children from that... Wasn't it like a mobster or something?
Remember how after he died and they checked his house and found nothing, but then they moved the dresser and found a room that takes 3 different keys, and after getting into it, it's full of children's toys and like superhero memorabilia?
Wasn't that a thing in... Was that in Neverland? Or
Yes.
not? No.
Yes, it is.
I can't tell if that makes it more or less creepy.
Oops, I was the wrong way.
People checked his house and they didn't find anything, but then people moved a bunch of dressers and stuff around and found this door that takes 3 keys to open, and inside of it is like all of these superhero and children
My
toys.
question is, how did they get the keys or did they just break the lock?
I don't remember. I just remember people found.
I guess they just used the universal key battering ram.
It does make Michael Jackson look.
Yeah, like it does make you wonder.
What?
What? Just the puzzle?
What
Yeah,
about?
I mean, I just grabbed like 4 pieces. I'm like, oh,
Oh.
let's see how many we have. Oh,
Oh.
no, we're still nowhere close.
Am I
Oh.
the only
Yeah.
one that... Am I the only person that when I have a menu in a game, I have to roll over everything in the menu to get the new icons to go away?
I mean, I used to do that, but you just have to keep doing it so long that I wait until the end of the game.
To be
Even
fair,
if I did
like...
it- even if I did it right now, it just keep updating.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the reason I actually...
And like half of these items that every time I get an item, even if I've had it before,
Well,
like I've had, like, yeah, I do Orin statue, but if I go across Blazing Crystal, I've had a Blazing Crystal before.
Mm-hmm.
well, that's
But
kind...
they'll keep doing it until I put them in the synthesis or get another one.
Well, that's kind of the reason I've started, like, doing it. It's one that not really kleptoness, just I need to have like symmetry or something. But the other reason is if I basically get rid of it when everything is new. When new things are new, it's just easy to keep track of things. Didn't Hercules have like a sword in the movie? Why is he not using that here?
Why can't we use Orin in tournaments?
Why can't we use Orin more in this world?
Right?
Why is Orin dead and his game happened?
Well, he was dead.
Do you want the actual answer?
Oh,
He's dead in his game.
Well, no, because,
No.
because he is game when he is dead when the game happened in Final Fantasy X.
you know what I
That's
mean.
the plot twist.
Like I said,
That's why he's dead now. I know why him being dead is a thing. My problem is the fact that he's dead for the same reason.
That's. I know he's dead
Which
in his
implies
game.
that Final Fantasy X's plot is still happening.
Wait as
Titus-
hell, spoiler warning, we just ruined Final Fantasy X.
It's a 15-year-old game!
Titus just isn't, an adult yet.
And
Because he hasn't been pulled out of Xanarchy.
every time we go to spoilers, I just have to always... Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Maybe
And
you
Sorrel
can
Green
heal
is people.
There you go.
One day you should intentionally, if you can straight face it, fuck that up and say Soylent Green is Luke's father and Darth Vader is people.
What?
Nothing. I don't think they do that.
What?
What?
I've played by the rules.
What about Team 2?
I don't think they brought back Orin.
I don't think they do, but
I don't...
But I also feel like I'm wrong.
Is that really so wrong?
Team 2?
Apparently there's still rumors about 10-3. I mean, from a gameplay standpoint, I'd be fine with it. Except like they're probably just ruin it
Why
now.
do all the bad Final Fantasies get sequels?
10 is
Play
amazing.
by my rules.
It is the best, in fact.
You mean the worst?
No, it is the best. That game is so solid.
Meg!
And it has a skill tree.
You and your skill trees.
Hey man, once you get delved so far into RPGs, you realize that traditional leveling up is just not as good as being able to go into a skill web.
It's
You,
like
you
how-
would really like Ori and the Blind Forest, then.
It's like how when you play Bayonetta, you realize a character action cannot work without witch time from this point onwards.
I don't know. I've been doing it for years.
Well, you've still got
I
us
can't
to
go
deal
back.
with.
And I actually, unironically mean Ori and the Blind Forest has a skill tree. I'm not just
Yes.
making a joke.
I believe you. Yeah!
You also have to use up your special meter to place save points.
You also want to know what else kind of has.
Which Carson said was a stupid system.
It fucking is. Saving should never be a motherfucking resource. Yeah, also, you want to know what else has a skill tree? Mario plus Rabbids.
Normally, I would agree with you. The only good thing about Ori, though, there are native save points that are free. And the free ability to place them, the reason they designed the game around that, there's a lot of moments where you could dead game yourself. So they actually designed it in kind of a good way, but I do get your point that you're using up your special meter.
And then I remembered. A true hero is measured by the strength of his heart.
And the size of his dick.
And let me tell you, he's a real hero.
I'll never forget that again.
Just no more crazy stunts.
People always do crazy things when they're in love.
What is so funny, you imbeciles?
Where's Orin?
How dare you?
He's literally in my party and he's not in this cutscene.
Dare you?
I don't see how anyone can play without Orin in their party. That just seems blasphemous.
That's it.
I've always loved that stupid Hades dance.
Like, even people that hate Hercules, which is a very large amount of people, everyone agrees Hades is legitimately the best thing from that movie. But it's also because wasn't somewhat similar to the genie in Aladdin? Isn't most of Hades' dialogue actually ad-lib?
Yes. Also, Hercules knows Aura Sphere, which is surprising because I would figure he would be a physical attacker.
He probably is.
imagine he would be a mech attacker.
Hey Donald, quit being dead. I need to use wisdom form.
The adventures of Sora, Goofy, and Donald's corpse. We've been over this.
I'm guessing Hercules has been a demon in SMP at some point.
Zeus is. Granted, I think it's only ever been in a strange journey.
That's so fucking weird to me. Why Strange Journey?
I don't know, it has a lot of things in it.
Hades is weak to ice,
As far
by
as
the
I'm
way.
concerned, that is literally a game where you climb up a tower and kill gods.
In case anyone missed it, Hades is weak to ice.
But that was kind of obvious. I thought Strange Journey was the game that takes place in the Arctic.
It is.
So how do we go from an event horizon in like the fucking Arctic to basically climbing the Tower of Babel? Oh wait, it's SMT, of course. That's our escalation.
May I remind you that SMT's canon plot is a timeline loop with side variants.
Basically, you're not wrong.
It is a looping timeline that splits. That is the Shin Megami Tensei timeline. It is a time loop that splits.
But
Because
it's also because I think Atlas and I can kinda understand this to some degree, but at the same time I feel this mentality has kinda hurt them. The funny thing is, the original SMT, the director of that game, he originally did not want a sequel to be made of the game. Because he thought if they make a sequel, we're going to have to, like, you're naturally going to have one of the endings be the basis for the sequel, because you physically can't act like all of the endings happen. But he didn't like the idea of undermining players' choices from the first game, so at first, like I said, they weren't going to do it when they did. When they kind of reached a bit of a middle ground and just decided, set it like 3,000 years in the future. It's so far in the future, your choices don't matter anyway.
Is that why he is a cyber suit?
Yeah.
We're talking about SMT or MT?
I believe SMP.
what happens when Hades falls into the underworld?
I mean, that's why Nocturne takes place in Vortex World. So that all your... Carson, you're wrong! They made a game where all your choices are canon! In fact, it's the basis for the SMTAU, or SMTU!
But now, there's no one left.
Well, I said
As far as everyone's concerned, since the Vortex World was created,
I said-
everything is canon.
I said that was their
Yeah.
initial
You deserve it, Orin.
idea. That was an
After
initial
everything
thing.
you've been through.
They've obviously guided over that, because wouldn't the better example be SMT4 Apocalypse, because
I
it's
should
after
thank
the
you.
neutral ending
Not
in
at all.
SMT4?
No, SMT3 says Vortex World, all
I mean-
worlds are possible.
Sure, you could thank us a little.
Why did they make a time loop that splits?
Literally, all
what
basically.
you mean.
Well, I mean, yeah. Basically, everything hits Nocturne and then loops back into itself. According to Nocturne's
I
timeline,
guess I
Nocturne
could
happens
spare a
twice,
few words.
at least.
Mm.
Because the entire thing about Vortex World is a world is born, it
Thanks,
dies,
Ahmed.
and becomes another world.
Hey, what's that mean?
Or
Because
being in this
essentially,
game doesn't make sense.
there's two Nocturnes. Because there's Nocturne where you have Detective Kaido, and then there's Nocturne where you have Dante.
It's it's kind of a shame that the Keyblade you get from Orin isn't that
Thanks
good.
again, guys. You're
It's
the best.
okay.
I normally use it, but I mean, I'm a little conflicted with them because I really like
sounds like
Loki.
somebody's feathers are a little ruffled. I'm kidding. Thank you, Sora, Donald, Goofy.
So where are you guys
Why do you
headed
say
next?
Goofy's name so seductively?
She says everything so
You
seductively.
know.
Like, what
You two
goddess,
lovebirds seem to
demon,
be
or
getting along
whatever?
just
What's
fine
Meg supposed
without
to
us
be?
hanging
She's
around.
Megara.
She
She's
sold
just
her soul to Hades because a man left her.
Is that in the actual Greek mythology?
No.
Uh-huh.
Like, because
Before we
what is
start
she in
the
actual
devil.
Greek mythology?
nothing.
Right.
Are you turkeys
Because
ready
I
for
would
the
assume
other
she's,
job?
incredibly sexual
If you
there.
keep basing
She's
every
not based
job
on
on
anything.
shit, where am I gonna train?
The
Aw, you can't abandon me
games.
now, Phil. I gotta be at the top of my game in case Hades shows up again.
Yeah, come on, Phil. How about it?
Let me see now. Well, you're not wise enough.
He says to Wisdom Form Sora
Quite
and Donald.
seasoned enough.
That's
He says to Season
Okay,
Form
okay,
Don-
we get
Sora
the hint.
and Donald
Look, kid,
Duck.
it's not my call.
Seasoned Duck.
Because if it was, you'd have no problem. I'd make you all heroes in a heartbeat.
If you say so, Danny DeVito.
On second thought, if
Okay.
I thought they got an impersonator.
No! Danny DeVito is incredibly affordable.
Come
not-
back, Pikachu! Pikachu, I choose you!
No, Carson, that's actually Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that's actually Danny DeVito.
Huh, I think I impersonator.
I'm pretty sure it's actually Danny DeVito. I know Gilbert Godfrey's in
Yeah.
this game. What?
Yeah, I love this.
I think it's Danny DeVito.
Trying to tell Wisdom Form Sora he's not one.
I fucking love this because, like, this is the ultimate, you know, basically, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm Zeus.
Finally rendered in Kingdom Hearts 3 with his realistic ass model.
I need to go look at that later then.
It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, do any of you ever think they will actually explain the whole weird inconsistency with Auron that happened in this game? I feel like that will likely never completely come up in a Kingdom Hearts game. If I had to make a realistic guess as to why Auron is the way he is in this game, it's clearly just a reference to Final Fantasy X, because at the time, and this is kind of funny, Final Fantasy X and X-2 were basically the newest Final Fantasy games, so they threw Auron in as kind of a reference to 10, but the problem is they didn't think about the ramifications of having Auron in this game, implying it is the Auron directly from the, actual Final Fantasy X, because Tidus is on Destiny Islands in the first game, and that is incredibly, incredibly weird. So this creates a weird consistency, and they never really explained that, and most people can't even come up with a completely tangible theory about that, and I really don't think the lore will ever completely explain this. However, based on stuff that happens in the DLC in 3, it is kind of setting up that some sort of weird alternate realities exist, and Dream Drop Distance kind of dipped into that, because Dream Drop Distance tangibly has multiple versions of Mickey Mouse, sort of hand-waved away by explaining these are alternate worlds and alternate realities. So they really could have sort of a weird hand-wave explanation that multiple different versions of these characters exist in multiple worlds, and that would imply that the Auron that died and ended up in, the underworld is pretty much because this is an Auron from the continuity directly related to Final Fantasy X, but this is quite a convoluted rabbit hole, and at this point I've been rambling for over 2 minutes, but you get my point. You can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All my social media links, as well as my Discord link, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I will see you all next time, so good night, everybody.